Hey, pre-algebra students, you're getting used to doing math at home by now, huh? I sure wish you were here, but we'll make the best of it. Hey, this is sort of new and different. Inequalities. Go ahead and start taking notes. 10-4, solving multi-step inequalities. Yep, fun times. Here's number one. 5x plus 3 is greater than or equal to 28. 5x plus 3 is greater than or equal to 28. For the most part here, guys, you solve these just like you solved the equations, and so it shouldn't really be too much of a problem to you. So we're trying to get the x by itself. We're going to go ahead and subtract 3 from both sides. That gives us 5x is greater than or equal to 25. Divide both sides by 5, and that gives you x is greater than or equal to 5. This statement right here is the answer. Now, you also have to know how to graph, and for some reason, I don't think this is that hard, but I have done it a lot of times. For some reason, the graphing part, some kids have trouble understanding it, so make sure you pay good attention here. So you have to have this, that's the statement. X is greater than or equal to 5. You also have to have the graph. And for these inequalities, the graph is simply a number line. So you go ahead and draw that number line. And we're going to graph x is greater than or equal to 5. So we're going to put a circle on the 5 right here. It says greater than, and I want you to see how it sort of points that direction, and that's the direction we're going to shade to. We're going to go this way, and we're going to put an arrow here. Now, this or equal to, it means it can be equal to 5. The way I have it right now, it's saying it can't be equal to 5. It has to be greater than 5, but it can be equal to 5. So you fill in the circle. This little line right here tells you whether or not to fill in that circle. If the little line is there, the or equal to line, you fill in the circle. And what this says is that x is greater than, and it goes on into infinity, or equal to 5. Okay, so that's our answer. X is greater than or equal to 5, and the graph. If they ask you to graph, then you have to show that graph. All right, here's question number 2. Go ahead and copy it. 10 minus 1/2 W is greater than 12. Okay, so essentially we're going to solve it the same way as we solve an equation. There's going to be an exception here, though. Okay, that minus goes with the 1/2 W, has nothing to do with the 10. To make that 10 go away, we have to subtract 10. 10 minus 10 will equal 0, and that's what we want. If we do that on one side, we have to do that on the other side. So this goes away, leaving us with negative 1/2 W equals 2. Don't lose track of that negative. Now, to get rid of negative 1/2, we're going to multiply by negative 2/1. That's multiplication. If we negative 2/1 is the same thing as just negative 2. Sorry, I put an equal sign there, and that's not correct. That was 2 times negative 2. Now here's the thing. You need to write this down. If you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, you have to flip this inequality. It says greater than. You have to change it to less than. I'm going to say that again. If you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number when you're solving inequalities, then you have to flip greater than to less than or less than to greater than. And my reason for you is because it works. When you check your answer, you'll figure out that it works. Okay, so negative 2 over 1 times negative 1/2 equals W. Bring down that is less than, and 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. So we're going to put a circle on negative 4. See how this arrow points this way and it says is less than, and that only works when the variable's on this side. So we're going to go this direction. It says is less than, and it goes forever. So we put a line, an arrow on the end there. Now, do we fill in the circle or don't we fill in the circle? Is there an or equal to, this guy right here? Do we have an or equal to on this problem? And the answer is no, we do not. So we do not fill in the circle on the negative 4. And what that means is negative 4 is not one of the solutions, but everything less than negative 4 is a solution. Numero 3. Go ahead and copy. 7y minus 15 minus 4y is less than or equal to negative 18. Now, anything that they've thrown at you with regular equations, they're going to throw that same stuff at you with inequalities. So do you see what's going on here with this particular inequality? What makes it just a little more difficult? I'm hoping you see that you have to combine like terms. And notice when I circle this, I include the negative with it, okay? I'd like to go ahead and combine those like terms. It would be okay to add 15 first if you wanted to do that, but I'm going to combine the like terms. 7y minus 4y is going to give me 3y. Bring down your minus 15, copy everything else. Now we need to add 15 to both sides. 3y is less than or equal to negative 3. Divide both sides by 3, and that gives you y is less than or equal to negative 1. That's an important piece of the answer. Box that. That statement is necessary. Y is less than or equal to negative 1. And then here we're supposed to graph also. Sometimes they don't ask you to graph, but on this one they are asking you to graph. So we're going to put a circle on negative 1. Our y's over here on the left where we like it, so this points the way. Draw an arrow in that direction, less than. Put the arrow on the end because it goes on forever. And then determine, are we going to fill in that circle or aren't we? And all you need to know is, do we have the or equal to or not? We do. So we're going to fill in that circle. This says that x is less than or equal to negative 1, or I guess it's y. Okay, I think you can go ahead and try number 4. I do want you to notice that there are variables on both sides, so you're going to need to get rid of them on one side. Go ahead and solve it and graph it. You can turn the video off and then turn it back on to check your answer. All right, let's see how you did. I went ahead and subtracted 12a from both sides. So that actually takes fewer steps, and I don't usually like having negatives there, but we're going to have to deal with it. And then we divided both sides by -5 right here. And remember the rule I told you to write down a minute ago? If you multiply or divide both sides by a negative, you have to change from less than to greater than. See how I had less than here? And then when I did this, I changed it to greater than. So our answer is A is greater than -2. Circle on -2. This points the way if the A is on the left. A is greater than -2. There's no or equal to right here, so we do not fill in the box here. So this says A is greater than -2. Copy number 5 down. 19 minus 4m is greater than 4m plus 11. Okay, let's go ahead and get all of our m's on one side. It doesn't matter which side you get rid of. I'm going to choose to get rid of the m's on this side because I want to show you something. Minus 4m, that minus goes with the 4m. We're going to put plus 4m. If we do that to one side, we have to do that to the other side. So we'll bring down our 19. This goes away. Bring down your greater than. 4m plus 4m makes 8m plus 1. Got to get m by itself. Subtract 1 from both sides. That makes 18 is greater than 8m. Divide both sides by 8. And we've got m. We've got the greater than symbol there. And then 18 divided by 8. Oh, I put 1 instead of 11. Sorry about that, guys. I'm going to have to go back and fix that. I did that on purpose so that you would see that everybody makes mistakes in math. No, I did not do that on purpose. You know that. We have to subtract 11 from both sides. And that's going to get us down to 8 here, which will give us a nice even answer. Divide both sides by 8. We got the m, we got the greater than, and we've got the 1. Now, this is a perfectly good answer, but do you notice something that kind of looks like bad form? We like the variable to be on the other side, and so I'd really like you to make it say this. Does that make sense to you? I changed the greater than to less than. See, this says 1 is greater than m right here. So if 1 is greater than m, then m is less than 1. M is less than 1. So if you move that over to the left, if you move the variable to the left like that, that changes the direction of that greater than or less than. Okay. Now, I like it in this form right here because it's easier to graph. So we're going to put a circle on 1. The arrow points the way if the variable is on the left. So we're going to go that way. And then there is no or equal to, so we are not going to fill in that circle. Now, notice if you tried to graph it from this, the arrow doesn't point the way. So I strongly encourage you to change it to this form. You have to be real careful with that. Okay, I think that's enough for today. We'll come back to this lesson with another video another time.